What is up there everyone, it's the guy with no gaming tag here, and today I wanted to talk about my progress recently with Battlefield 4's assignment, and just giving some advice on ways that I found it best to complete them. Now, one of the main assignments that I've really struggled with recently is the Railgun Rampage assignment. This required you to get 25 kills with the Rorschach 1 railgun and destroy 10 vehicles. Getting the kills wasn't too much of a problem, but destroying 10 vehicles was a right pain, because often it was just very difficult to actually destroy something. Helicopters took very little damage from the railgun, tanks as well, and also things like MRAPs. I never personally tried shooting at those, but I'm pretty sure they had very similar results. The only vehicles that were actually practical to possibly get destroys with the railgun were actually snowmobiles, because they had very little health compared to the other vehicles. However, they move very quickly and their physics is quite dodgy, so they can be quite sporadic in the way they move. And one bit of information I really wish I had before I'd started this assignment was that spawn beacons count as vehicles. So if you destroy a spawn beacon with the railgun, it will count towards this assignment. You can destroy 10 spawn beacons and that will give you all 10 vehicle destroys. This is a really useful technique I found, because at the end of it, 7 out of my 10 vehicle destroys were just killing spawn beacons. And they aren't too hard to spot. Of course, it is a little bit difficult on some maps like Operation Whiteout, where you suddenly get the blizzard and you can't see very much, but occasionally you'll suddenly see a spawn beacon spotted in the distance and you'll be able to take it out. One of the hardest things with the railgun is actually just keeping near to the action, but not so near that you die. It's a very fine balance. You don't want to stay near the spawn of the railgun, because then people will find you, they will hunt you and work out where you are and they'll take it for themselves. You kind of want to be near the action but not so close that you're going to instantly get outgunned, because the railgun is very bad in close quarters. I found that on a map like Hammerhead, you really want to go into the central hill on the map. That was usually a good place to go because you were in between both of the railgun spawns. So you were close-ish to the action, but you also had a little bit of a safety net because you were usually a reasonable distance away from any enemies. Now, another assignment that isn't particularly difficult but can take quite a while to do if you're not quite using the right tactics is the assignment to unlock the SR2 on Naval Strike. Now, what this particular assignment wants you to do is to destroy 20 boats. Now, on face value, that sounds pretty simple. There's a lot of boats on this map, so you could just take an attack boat of your own and go around destroying the other boats. However, the attack boats and rib boats are not the only vehicles that count towards this challenge. Jet skis and hovercrafts also count towards this challenge, so if you destroy jet skis and hovercrafts, you will get progress towards this assignment. This is really vital knowledge, because if you're struggling on boat to boat combat, because let's face it, there are so many times where you start engaging one boat and then another enemy boat rounds the corner and you get completely outnumbered and you lose a chance to get an easy destroy. That's really frustrating, and it's disappointing when you're trying to complete the assignment and that keeps happening. So if you actually take on jet skis and hovercraft, it means that you stand a better chance of getting this assignment done quickly. It also means that as an engineer, you can get a lot of progress towards this assignment. With most rockets, you can take out a jet ski with just one shot. With hovercrafts, I believe it is 2 shots, so that would make it much easier if you're just trying to complete this as an infantry soldier. So that makes that assignment a lot easier. And then also the Death from Below assignment, which unlocks you the anti-air mines. You need to destroy 5 attacking helicopters. Now, this doesn't just mean attack helicopters. Scout helicopters also count towards this assignment. If you're using anti-tank rockets against helicopters, go for the scout helicopters as well. You can get progress towards this assignment by killing those as well. And I would also advise the SMOR and the RPG are possibly your best bets, because they can one-shot all helicopters. The SROR, although it gives you good accuracy and you can control the path of your rocket, cannot one-shot an attack helicopter. I do not know how it works on a scout helicopter. I did manage to destroy a scout helicopter with the SROR in one shot, but I wasn't sure if this helicopter was weak at all. So I don't know if it can actually one-shot a scout helicopter, but it cannot one-shot an attack helicopter, whereas the SMOR and RPG can, so they are probably better choices, but it all depends on the map. If you're playing Final Stand, I would personally advise you use the SMOR or RPG, but on Naval Strike, I personally prefer the SROR just because of the amount of boats on the map. It's very useful for taking those out. But the main reason I wanted to make this video was not only to give my advice on some assignments that I found extremely difficult, was to also ask, do you think that I should do assignment tutorials for Battlefield 1? The only reason I haven't made any for Battlefield 4 is because all the DLCs are well over a year old now, and there are probably a lot of tutorials already on the internet, so I didn't want to kind of oversaturate that area. But I do think that I could come up with some useful information. The advice I've just given are things that I personally would have loved to have known before I'd started going into these assignments, and they are, in my opinion, some vital ways of actually being able to complete them. And I think actually doing the tutorials could be a bit of fun. It's definitely satisfying and I do enjoy going for these assignments, and I think it'd be cool to be able to share my experience on how to complete them and give some advice on the ones that are a bit more difficult. But let me know what you'll think. I would like to give this a go, but at the same time, if you think it maybe wouldn't suit me personally as a YouTuber, or you think I should maybe do some pilot episodes first on Battlefield 4, please let me know. I would really appreciate the feedback. And lastly, Battlefield 4 China Rising is now free at the moment. I expect this is because the Battlefield 1 beta is possibly coming out fairly soon, so they're trying to get the last 2 DLCs for Battlefield 4, China Rising and Second Assault, out fairly quickly. China Rising is free for a few days, so if you would like to try that, by all means go to your in-game store and it should be there for free. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed the video. This has been the Guy from the Gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.
Attack this objective!